Hello, everybody. Welcome to Transcend with NNG podcast. I am your host, Brittany Walker, also known as New Nation Goddess. Welcome to episode 8, guys. We've made it to episode 8, which is social synergy. We are also reviewing the 8 frequencies of elevation. So social synergy is going to be our 7th frequency. And in this episode, we're going to learn how to build a network and become more attractive. So let's go ahead and get started. Happy Wealth and Wellness Wednesdays. You know, we always wanted to deliver the tips and the gems and the tools and resources that you guys need in order to represent the underestimated and the underrepresented, which is people of color, women, LGBTQ+, veterans, and individuals with disabilities on how we can truly become free through acquiring wealth and achieving optimal wellness. So, we always like to kick off the episode with the I am power statement, with I representing inspiration, A representing affirmation, and M representing manifestation. So for today's statement, it is I am surrounding myself with positive energy and avoiding energy leeches by setting applicable boundaries. Ashe. It is so common as we learn to define our purpose and we start acquiring the knowledge and achieving optimal wellness and getting better with our financial responsibilities. You have people that will come in and interfere. You will have situations that will come in and interfere, and you will have places that will come in and interfere. And it's up to us to determine what these distractions are. What is keeping us unfocused? What is keeping us not disciplined? What is pulling us away and letting us know, oh, that may be too hard, or that wasn't meant for you, or, you know, I miss the old you, or you're acting funny, or you're being weird. It's just that those people or those situations are no longer a part of our frequency. They're no longer a part of where we've elevated to, and things that have made us comfortable before are no longer good for us, not beneficial, not valuable or substantial to where we're headed and what we're meant to do, which is to serve and educate and resolve problems through those sustainable development goals that we have developed. All right, guys. So, you know, I like to follow through with a reference and with a good old book. And we're going to go ahead and hit it with the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Of course, a very thick book. There's a lot of these powers that I had to turn my nose up at and say, wait, what? Is that what I'm really supposed to be doing? Is that how you really achieve power? And it's just not so much that I want power. You know, even though I love the show, Power, I love the brand. I love the intelligence that was used to build out that brand and to make so many different storylines and other ways to be lucrative from a set story. And Jamie St. Patrick at heart, a little bit of Tommy mixed in the mix. But 48 Laws of Power teaches you how others have acquired power, ways that may have worked for others. It's a lot of lessons you can learn. It's a lot of things that you can realize that you may have done before that you didn't know. It's a lot of forms of manipulation and things that you might want to just pay attention to. It opens your eyes to energy leeches and people that can latch on to you to keep you withheld from the powers that you actually have and embody. So great reference. Check it out. I will make sure that I include that information in the description of the episode for those of you who are not watching on Spotify or viewing this on YouTube as well. All right, guys. I also have a tea that I always like to sip on, and I wanted to try. Excuse me, I need to take that because that was so good. I wanted to try something different. So I took the opportunity to do a blueberry golden latte. Yeah, it was a whole little remix up in this mug, but I took some berries and I muddled them down in oat milk. And then I took that that infused oat milk. And then I put that into a pot and threw it in with some hibiscus and some anise star, some ginger, some cinnamon, and some turmeric. You know, my go-tos that help you stay detox and clean and help elevate that neuromelanin and keep clarity in the brain. But then I put fresh blueberries, and then I brought that and steeped it. And it is so bomb.com. It is going to give me all the antioxidants that I need. Weather's starting to get cool. It's starting to, season's starting to change, guys. So it's extremely important for us to stay on top of our health. We don't want to get caught up in the germs and the bacteria and the things that are out there that are hindering the body. We want to make sure that we're putting optimal forms of food in our body and high vibrational foods in our body so that we can continue our life longevity and help maintain a healthy wellness living lifestyle. All right. So let's go ahead and deep dive into social synergy. So building a network, it is extremely important that we build a network for ourselves. And as you continue to grow and progress, you're going to determine that everybody in your network may not have your same career path. You might talk to people in different industries. You start noticing that you want to put yourself in rooms with people that you haven't had conversations with, that people that you are wanting to learn from. It is important that you're not the smartest person in the room at all times. A wise person once told me that. Shout out to DJ Moultrie with the Black Equity Network and the Acquisitions Network. It is not the best thing to be the smartest person in the room. If you're always the person that knows everything, how are you going to elevate? How are you going to grow? How are you going to learn different things? In my journey through these last couple of years of defining my purpose and figuring out what my purpose is and going down that path, I was given homework about determining what people would I love to work with. Putting those people on my vision board, studying those people, connecting with them on LinkedIn, connecting with them through their outlets, you know, determining what millionaires am I interested in knowing their blueprint. What billionaires am I interested in knowing their blueprint? Knowing this information all came from knowledge acquisition. Knowledge acquisition came from resources like books, podcasts, connecting with these individuals that I'm discussing so that they can assist you with opening your mind and helping you shift your brain. You can't just wake up one day and be a billionaire. There's work that has to be put into that. There's a lot of sacrifices that goes into that. And there's a lot of changes that you have to make that is hard at first that you're like, no, I can't do that. Or that's impossible. Or what about those friends that I've been around my whole life? What about my family that doesn't believe in that? There's different things that you have to do to set yourself apart because everybody is not walking around being a billionaire. Everybody's not walking around being a millionaire. There's many people that you surround yourself around that does not know what it feels like to make six figures, that does not know what it feels like to have a substantial savings account, that does not know what it's like to have resources and an abundance of time because you took the risk of shifting your mind and did what was needed to fulfill your actual purpose and not their purpose or what makes them comfortable. So it's important that you surround yourself around like-minded people or people that you desire to be like, and not so much that you want to copy them, that you want to do exactly their moves, but people that you admire. And let me say that, not desire to be like, but people that you actually admire. All right. So also being welcoming to your own people. You can't be rude and think that you are going to appeal the right type of people. You give off a certain type of vibe. You give off a certain type of aura and energy, and you want to be able to reciprocate great positive energy. So it's important that we are kind to one another. One of my biggest pet peeves, especially in my culture as a person of color, and especially as a woman, that I can walk down the street and I can see a fellow melanin individual, or I can see another goddess and I go to speak. Just, hey, how are you doing? And they look me straight in my face and they have no response back. They don't have anything to say. They might even size me up and look me up and down, wondering why I'm even bothering them. And things like that turns you off and makes you not want to be for the culture. It makes you not want to support your own. It makes you not want to indulge with other women or indulge with other people because of those type of things. It was funny, growing up, my mom had this thing called BWS, which was called Black Woman Syndrome, that she had issues having friends that were women because of jealousy, or you're mad at that I'm skinny. You mad that my hair doesn't curl like your curls. You're mad that my mom bought this for me and your mom didn't buy it for you. Just simple things out of pure jealousy that's really not your fault, or things that you can't change, but they have an instant like against you, an aura that they don't want to operate or be around you. And that's really sad to me. So it's hard for us to have great social synergy and connect with one another if we're not even willing to be open and kind and courteous. So it is important that you have to remember the energy that you give off is the energy that people are seeing, and it's up to them if they want to be around that. I think it's extremely important, especially with all these different celebrities nowadays, and people are looking up to all these stars, but a lot of these stars and a lot of these celebrities that people are looking up to, when you talk to people that deal with these people on a day-to-day basis, they're saying how nasty their attitudes are. They talk to people disrespectfully. They're just mean for no reason. They have to talk about people to make themselves feel better. That's not the type of energy you want to be around. That's not the type of energy that's going to allow you to elevate to your fullest potential. It's going to leave you kind of stagnant and low vibrational and keep you in a state of mind that is not the best for you. So it's important that you be kind, you be positive and optimistic, and you are going to have your days that everything's not going to be perfect. You're not going to wake up every single day and be extremely happy and happy-go-lucky, and we're going to just leave it at the door and I never have problems. We all have shit that we go through. We are human beings, but it is important to try to minimize the negativity when you do experience it and try to maintain as much peace as possible. Because when you have that type of attitude and you operate in that type of energy, the frequencies and the vibes that you attract are just so rewarding and it's so satisfying. And then you actually will attract people that you've been manifesting. You might in your head say, hey, I want to meet this specific person because this person has this type of activism going on. They believe in the same purpose I do. They have this mission. But then you also had an ego about yourself and about that person on why you wanted to connect with them. Were they going to make you famous? Were they going to put you on Front Street? Were they going to help make you an overnight celebrity? So you might want that attraction, but then you might be given somebody else that's way better for you, that gives you everything that you need plus more. So just be aware of how you treat people. All right. It's important that you indulge in social media because social media, it can be used as a platform. It could be used as a resource and a tool for your business, for your brand, and whatever mission that you're trying to fulfill. But then you also have to be mindful of not getting completely sucked up into the social media world, that you're not engaging and scrolling and taking in things that are not best for your elevation or shifting your mind. If you get to the point where you're looking at people's posts and it's just like, oh, here she go again, or he's always doing this, or you're not even caring to read the body of the content because whatever you physically saw first just wasn't your cup of tea. Those are energies that you do not need to be following or you need to be taken in. A lot of people say that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But words are actually affirmations, manifestations. Things that you listen to, like music, things that you watch on TV, those things start to resonate in your brain. Have you ever watched something or listened to something and then you went to sleep and then you had a dream about something along that subject or along that kind of same storyline? It's because you're subconsciously absorbing those words. You're absorbing what you saw on TV. You're absorbing what you saw on your phone and your tablet. So it's extremely important that when you do indulge in social media, that you are following people and brands and missions that are assisting your elevation and assisting your transcendence. You remember, we are trying to transcend, guys. We want to elevate. We want to be able to get to our highest peak of frequency, our highest potential. But you can't do that if you're still engaging in entertaining bullshit that's invaluable. All right. So again, work with social media, but do not allow it to consume you. Building strategic partnerships, alliances, or even teams is important. You might have a business where you have employees, so you have the opportunity to build a team from the ground up. But if you're a solopreneur or you're an individual that's just getting into wanting to volunteer for a mission and be a part of a mission or still figuring out your purpose, you want to make sure that you're connecting with people that already know the information that you're wanting to discover, that already know how to get there, or they might not know how to get there, but they're passionate enough to want to learn. They have the knowledge to be analytical and research and get what's needed to get there. You want to make sure that you're building partnerships with those people. You don't want to align yourself or align your brand or even your personal aura and vibes to be aligned with the wrong crowd. It's almost like when you were younger, your mom told you, I don't want you hanging with those girls because those girls are fast, or telling their sons, I don't want you to hang out with those boys because they're thugs, because if people see you with them, they're going to assume that you're a thug. Think about, this is a really crazy analogy or reference, but I'm thinking about even like Set It Off, Jada Pickett's brother. If you watch the movie, her brother she wanted him to go to college and she wanted him to do all this stuff. And he gets the same haircut as somebody that people are out to get, the cops and everything. And he gets shot and killed because he had a hairstyle that was like somebody else. So again, think about who you want to align yourself with. Think about who you want to be like. Do you want to be a thought? Do you want to be selling your body and projecting it? Do you want to be just rich and have cars and money and houses and Gucci and jewelry? Or do you want to help people? Do you want to serve? You could possibly do all of it, but what's best for your purpose? What's best for your elevation? What is going to make you proud of the legend that you leave behind? Think about that. Social synergy. How do you want to operate? How do you want to be perceived? You want to be perceived as yourself. You want to be perceived as the best version of yourself. You don't have to engage in imposter syndrome. You don't have to pretend to be something that you're not. All you have to do is be the best version of yourself. When you can find people that love you for genuinely who you are, flaws and all, when you can find business partnerships that accept your brand and love what you're doing just because of who you are, not who you pretend to be, that's when you get the best outcome. So it's extremely important, guys. All right. I mentioned ego earlier. That is something I had to learn the hard way. If you've listened to previous episodes, I talked about a resource, a book called The Go-Giver. And I made the reference that the main character, Joe, was myself. And I mentioned DJ Moultrie in that episode about he was my pillar. He helped me see things that were, am I doing it because of me serving people? Or am I doing it because it's going to fuel my ego? It's going to feed it. It's going to make it bigger than what it already was. You know, I've been told in the past about being braggadocious or being, I have this many degrees and I've accomplished this and I've had this. And I had to really come to check myself on how that could be perceived by people, how that can make people feel less than. And it's not that I'm going to dim my light to make others feel better, but there's still a way that you can go about things and enjoy your success and your accolades and be proud of the things that you've accomplished and done, but not making it all about me, narcissistic, very egotistical. Even working with some certain companies, I had to being a previous chef. I'm a chef and I've worked with NBA players and I worked with NFL players and I've worked with Fortune 500 moguls. I've worked with millionaires. I worked with billionaires. I work with Olympians and, gold medalists. And I don't have to do all that no more. For what? That's great. It's great that it's on my profile. It's great that it's on my portfolio. But then it still was an ego thing. It wasn't about that I really helped these people with nutrition. It wasn't about me seeing the gratification on their face when they bit into my food. And I know that was my food that made that reaction. It was because of who it was. So it's very important that you put your ego in check as you go through this journey and as you continue to elevate, because checking your ego is going to be extremely important with the masses that you're meant to serve. All right. Also, following your instinct. A lot of people, it kind of rolls in the ego thing. You'll see something that a celebrity is doing or that they posted on social media, and then you want to be on board with that. You can also have an amazing business idea. You have somebody that wants to do business with you, and because they have that dollar amount that you desired and that's going to be quick money, instead of you being patient and working up to that salary or that revenue, you might take the quick, easy way. And that quick, easy way might not be the best way. You might have not done research on that business. You don't know what they really represent. You don't know what their reputation is and how that can affect your brand in a negative way. So we got to be more conscientious on listening to our gut instinct, being able to tap into that crown chakra and that sacral chakra. That sacral chakra, that intuition, bruh. Every single time being, I mentioned about knowing your human design and your genius in past episodes. Check out past episodes if you haven't done so already. Knowing my human design as a generator, I know how I operate, and knowing that my power chakra is my sacral, meaning that I'm really good with following my instinct. I have always been that person that's never been bandwagon. My mom has always taught me to be a leader and not a follower. And anytime that I did follow, being simple-minded or just following what everybody else was doing, or didn't want to be peer pressure because I was the oddball out, or I always thought outside the box, or I always was the one that wanted to challenge things, it put me in bad situations. So I learned very early on how important my instinct was. And if you feel like your instinct is blocked, tapping into realigning your sacral chakra and realigning your crown chakra. So tapping into those, unlocking with the proper crystals if you are into the metaphysical methods, as I mentioned before. So sacral has to do anything around orange, citrines, carnelians. Carnelian is like my favorite sacral chakra crystal to use. When it comes to divinity, I like to use my Super 7. I have a Super 7 on right now. Amethyst is a go-to, a easy go-to that a lot of people use for their sacral chakra as well. Tapping into purples, purple foods, purple colors, lavenders that help open your sacral chakra. With the orange, carrots. Another good one is pumpkin seeds. I know it's not quite the color orange, but it helps fuel your body with the right protein and the right monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats that helps block your energy leeches or bad influences or bad clarity, to help you have an equilibrium in your brain so you are making better decisions. So guys, it is extremely important, again, to follow your instinct. All right. And then with doing that, having harmony, making sure that you don't get so self-absorbed with social media that you start stressing yourself out because you're not getting enough likes, you're not getting enough follows. Just take time to restructure. See if what your strategy that you're using is currently working. Also know that it takes time to also build a social media following and then to upkeep it. You don't want to get to the point where your social media or your social networks or anything around you that has to do with your social well-being is being affected. If you're starting to become stressed and depressed and you're feeling like You got too many negative comments, so now you have to change this, or you don't like the way things that people are saying about you. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to get along with you, and you have to be okay with that. All right? But you have to find harmony in your social well-being. You can't, again, allow outsiders and others affect how you live, affect how you truly believe who you are. Be in love with yourself. I wanted to use this episode too. If you're watching Spotify or YouTube, the only thing I have on is red lipstick. I have on no makeup. As you see, I'm rubbing my face. I have on no mascara. Eyebrows are not filled in. Roots are not freshly done. I really just had to fall in love with who I was and not allow social media to determine who I was, not allow my friends to determine who I was, not allow society to tell me what looks good, what doesn't look good, when you should get on camera, how you should be perceived, how you have to be beat to the gods, how you have to be perfection. And there's no such thing as perfection. We are all goddesses and gods, and we all possess that it factor. And once you know what your purpose is, you know what that it factor is that's going to set you apart from everybody else. And you don't have to do any other extra bullshit to prove who you are and what you deserve. All right, guys. So that social synergy, I just want to recap. We discussed what it takes to build a network and how do you become attractive? How do you be your real self and attract the right energies in order for you to continue elevating? All right, guys. So again, this was the 7th out of 8 frequency for today. We're going to go ahead and let you guys know, of course, as always, if you have listener mail, we have loved what we've received so far. Please keep sending things in. If there's anything that you would like for us to discuss on an episode, if there's anything that you would like to discuss privately, you have the option to write directly to any of the platforms that our podcast is on. You can reply directly to that episode with a message. You can also email us at info@NNG, that's N as in new, N as in nation, G as in goddess, consulting.org. So info@nngconsulting.org. I will put that information in the description of this episode, and let us know what's going on, or again, what you would like us to discuss. Be sure to like our podcast. We're on multiple platforms, of course. Like us, save us, so you know when a new episode comes up. We're coming up every Wednesday for Wealth and Wellness Wednesdays, as we're coming close to ending our first season. You can also subscribe to our website at nngconsulting.org, nngconsulting.org, and keep up with our latest news, trends, and resources as we send out monthly emails and we send out monthly newsletters. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube page to be able to view the podcast as well. As always, guys, I want to send gratitude for everybody that's tuning in, all my gods and goddesses, as we continue to transcend with NNG, New Nation Goddess, and elevate ourselves, shifting our minds so we can be free through acquiring wealth and achieving optimal wellness. I want to manifest a positive, productive, and peaceful remainder of the day. And I'll be talking to you guys soon. Peace.